one of these people, or like, David Beckham is another one, or at least he used to be. It's one of these people that, why Kim Kardashian becomes such a figure? What makes it so? Yeah, I think it's a really important question. It's an interesting one. It's okay. You can say self-promotion or whatever, but you and I can do self-promotion until we are blue in the face, and still there is something different. Yeah. So what is it? Now, yesterday we said that there are certain discourses that in a particular moment constitute what we understand as truth. And if what you do is using these languages, you or your work or whatever you do sticks and becomes visible and becomes relevant, and it kind of accumulates and becomes a kind of a big crystal. And if it doesn't, then no one hears of it. Alexander?
No, but I have a not really relevant question.
If it's not relevant, perhaps keep it.
Okay.
Or keep it for now. And let's say something relevant. Natalie?
Yes.
So, what is the answer to your question about Guski?
My answer?
To the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
The Guski picture.
Yeah.
So is it a fractal? The answer is yes. Why?
Yeah, I mean, because it's a repetition, but we're slightly, it's the same and then it's not.
Well, of course, it really shows, because it is about the people who work in the center, I imagine, but it takes this 50,000 feet away point of view at which you don't have any individual features. You get only the sense of the self-repetition. Yeah? So, yes, and I think that's kind of relevant to what you were doing about uniforms. Yeah? So perhaps you need to think about your uniforms as a form of fractal. Yeah? What does it mean to your work? And how could you install it as a fractal? Perhaps it's not about them having two prints, because that's not the fractal. Perhaps the way you install this work has to itself be fractal. Yeah, it's not enough to say, well, it's about uniforms within this single square. The single square itself has to be fractalized. Right? And how we get to that? Well, maybe we need to start thinking about series. Maybe we have to start thinking about work that is never finished, in the same way that the fractal zoom is never coming to a halt, never coming to an end. Okay. Yes.
Would then Alexander's work also be?
Whose?
Alexander.
Yes.
7 books he did. I mean, it was supposed to be infinite, so he wanted to make it much bigger than it actually was. So he wanted, he grouped these people in.
Well, what do we get here?
I mean, he classified them, but then he had, like, before they were destroyed, it was more than 44,000 pictures or something like that.
Yeah. August Sander, a great German photographer, who he basically wanted to catalog the types of German people: the baker, the banker, the peasant, the businessman, and it is a fractal. I agree. Yeah, it is a project that takes on board the fractal logic, and it is very interesting because this kind of project was really inconceivable before photography. I mean, as a painter, you wouldn't take on yourself, or it just would be very hard to imagine a task, even though I think botanists did, let's say, draw birds but somehow there is something about the photographic process itself that suggests this possibility of looking at human society as a fractal. Because it's not only that his project is fractal, but he looks at society as a fractal. Good, yes.
Thoughts sprung to mind. So, has the economy that's based on debt, basically debt as an interest, is fractal?
Excellent. Brilliant.
So
That is a fractal.
creating money out of nothing, and it's an
Yes.
infinite, because the interest is always, but there's nothing there. There's no gold or goods to back it up.
Yes.
It's not infinite because of the fractional deposit there, because you have to have a certain amount of deposit.
Sorry, say it again.
Sorry, I'm just being boring and pedantic.
No.
Let's be pedantic.
Well, you can't create infinite amounts of money because you have to hold a fraction of your deposits at the bank, and that fraction determines how much money is created. So when the economy wants to be loose on money, one of the things it can do is to reduce the fraction that you hold at the central bank.
But what happens with quantitative easing?
Well, that's slightly separate, but I mean it's the same thing. It's just the Bank of England is basically buying government debt, so it's a circle. But I mean it's fractal-like, but it's just not infinite because it's all controlled. So it would be like watching your film and stopping it after.
So you don't think there can be an infinite amount of printed money?
Well, there could be, but the system stops that from happening.
Unless you go to work.
Even though it does seem that the amount of money that circulates exceeds many times the actual available resources in the world.
Yeah, I mean, money is a kind of debt, kind of bringing the future into the present. So it's kind of what you would otherwise have to kind of work to get, and could only get after sort of 3 years of working. You can get now. So in a sense, if the future is infinite, then you can bring all of the future into the present. So
This is great. That's really interesting. That would be very good to see that somehow. So it would be very good to see something like that as an image. I would be curious to know what an image of that looks like. Where are we so far? Now, look, 1 second, Alexander. I kind of know that this is a big sort of ask to start thinking about practice fractally. But what we're really talking here about is a shift of focus from the content of an individual image to an image as a series or an image as a set. Yeah. So instead of thinking about your work as a group as made of individual pieces, we are trying to shift attention to a group set. Yes, Alexander.
So before the internet and before industrial revolution, before mass production, were there any man-made fractals?
Man-made fractals.
Well, Mandelbrot.
Well, if you look at any, for instance, at a city, at a town, from the air or as on a map, it looks like a fractal. Because you basically have the same structure, let's say a neighborhood, repeated over and over again. A cluster of houses, repeated over and over again. A cluster of streets, repeated over, or even
just law.
Huh?
Well, like law.
Law, of
From
course.
the king to the judge, the guard, the police, and the local, just
However, with the law there is somehow suggestion that everything emanates from a single center. Well, if you look at the way a town spreads, it's not about having any central core. Now, do you realize that when we talk about fractals, we also in the same time talk about the rhizome. The rhizome is a fractal. And what are fractals? As we see in this video of the fractal zoom, the fractal is becoming. It never is. It doesn't have any fixed point at which it is just that. It's always in the process of becoming. That's why we speak about your work as never being finished. Because, okay, you might say the work is finished when it is being installed. But then the install gets documented, yeah? So it becomes something else. And the documentation gets uploaded online and it becomes something else. And then from online, it might go into a magazine or a book, which we'll do, that will be our next step. So the whole practice of your work could also be seen as a continuous unfolding of a fractal. So, 1 minute. So the fractal then is not only a question of distribution, it also becomes a kind of an ethical point. What does it mean to talk about the ethics of the fractal? It's a bit like the ethics of quantum mechanics. In Newtonian physics, there are two kinds of entities: fractals, particles and waves. But in quantum physics, there is no clear-cut distinction between particles and waves. We have a kind of a field of probabilities. It almost becomes a question of statistics. We have this this sort of how is it called? The word escaped me. But we have this field of distribution. We can take the same way of thinking and apply it to the image. And we can say, in the classical approach, there are images and there are objects, and never the two should meet, like particles and waves. They are completely separate. You have images here and objects there. But in the fractal understanding, in the more kind of quantum-inspired, the fractal-inspired understanding, then images and things are not distinct, but we have this field of probabilities in which there's various entities, and sometimes under close examination, an entity might become an art object, because it is simply because we look at it with the intent of seeing it as an art object. In other instances, it is just a thing. Yeah, like the famous example of the glasses in the gallery. You remember that? I think I showed it to you. Yeah, it is kind of very quantum, because if you don't look at it, it's a particle. If you look at it, it's a wave. If you don't look at it, it's a pair of glasses. If you look at it, it's an art object. Yeah, what made it so? The viewer. So your act of looking is not innocent. It's the act of looking that makes something what it is. Just as what Karen Barad is telling us about her understanding of materiality through quantum physics. It's not that there is some kind of matter that you as a scientist go and examine. It's your act of examination itself that creates this matter.
But not just the viewer, right?
Sorry?
Not just the viewer. It's also like the space with a certain expectation.
Yeah, because the viewer is not just the viewer. The viewer is not isolated from all the apparatus. The white cube of the gallery is like the microscope of the scientist. It's the instrument. It's the apparatus through which you doing that of looking. Yeah. So you see, we are here getting to understand that what does it mean to make art in a world of infinite complexity. Yeah. Complexity is the condition of is the contemporary condition. And what does it mean? It means that things don't come to you with a label that says I'm an art object. I'm in a gallery, therefore I'm art. I'm made with oil paint, therefore I'm valuable and I'm having an aura. Yeah, even Walter Benjamin already somehow described that in his work on the art in the age of its mechanical reproducibility. So we are surrounded with things, and that's it. And how come some of these things occasionally become art? Well, it is to do with the way we look and with the way we install. So that's why, you know, you can come to the install on Monday without bringing anything from home, and you can still have something to install. Yeah? It's not necessary to have brought something. You can install just whatever there is, whether it is the air in the room or the absence of having anything particular to say. It doesn't matter, because it's just about creating a situation in which the observer and the tools of observation create something. So that's how we get to think through fractals about art practice as a way of dealing with complexity. Yeah. So we sort of, I think it's been a recurring theme in these terms conversations. We keep asking how contemporary science, or how what Johnny Golding calls it the wild sciences, quantum physics, theory of relativity, fractals, what the wild sciences can tell us about contemporary art. And while in the past, in the traditional world of Newtonian physics and classical art history, there are clear-cut distinctions between objects and images. We are trying to negotiate a way of thinking in which these distinctions are not really tangible. Instead, we have multiplicity. Instead, we have repetition, fractality, uniformity. Then the question of measurement becomes important. Then the questions of sequencing, or for instance, question of when the work stops becomes important. Like I think Susanna in your work, Annalise in your work as well. You know, at what point you stop? At what point you say, okay, this is the last frame? That becomes more important than what the frame is about. Yeah, in a sense, what is the specific picture? What it will be the next screen grab is less important than the fact that there is a next screen grab. Yeah, so we're not talking here about the content. We move to some kind of different consideration of space. Yeah, and that brings us to the end of this session. Okay, thank you very much, and I will see you. Yeah, okay, let me just say about Monday. On Monday, we decided with Suki that we will need to do a workshop on some basic installation techniques, because you don't know how to cut a straight line. You don't know, you really don't. You don't know how to, I don't blame you, because it's, you know, you don't know how to put a shelf. You don't know how to screw in the wall. So we need to look at that. You also don't know how to write a tutorial report. These are minor things, and we're going to fix them tomorrow or Monday. So it's a session that everyone needs to attend, and it will be just in the morning. There is no install, and we will start with installs in the week after. Okay? Take care. Ben, I think we can have a quick chat. Great.